Finally, the presidential campaign of the governing All Progressives Congress has kicked off, with President Muhammadu Buhari along with all the 22 governors of the APC-controlled states, plus some presidential aspirants, including the former Minister of Transportation, Rotimi Amechi, storming the Rampam Stadium in Jos, the Plateau State capital, to support Bola Ahmed Tinubu and his running mate Kashim Shettima. After that, in what looks like a tough week for the campaign, Tinubu also met with the leadership of the Christian Association of Nigeria in Abuja and leaders of the Southeast in Owerri, the Imo State capital, to explain his renewed hope manifesto and decisions taken by his team. Now, apart from explaining his choice of a Muslim ticket, Tinubu is also promising that his government will provide a conducive atmosphere for businesses to thrive, thereby eliminating extortion and providing credit for businesses. With the APC now fully beginning its campaign and with less than 100 days to the presidential election, what are the chances of Nigeria's governing party, the APC? Well, to take this conversation further, we have joining us Ayobami Oyalowo, who is a member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council, and also here with us is a spokesman of one of the APC support groups, Tinubu Shettima Independent Campaign Council. He's also the son of late Tunji Braithwaite, who's a veteran presidential contestant and lawyer. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
And I start with you, Ayo. Like I asked in my prologue, what are the chances of the APC as you begin to unbundle your 80-page campaign document to Nigerians to let them know why the party needs to be given another chance for 4 or maybe 8 years? And then, of course, what are its chances in a very turbulent presidential race that seems to even be having 4 to 5 top contenders, and people are saying that, look, if you heard what INEC had said at a meeting yesterday, that INEC itself is planning for a runoff and all of that. So what are APC's chances?
No, INEC is actually doing what is right. You know, if you fail to plan, you are already planning to fail. Why we believe that there will be no runoff, like a Christian, they always tell us to live our lives like today is the last day, yet be happy as if you still have the whole day ahead of you. So INEC is only trying to do what is right by thinking should there be, but we can tell INEC they should relax. There will be no runoff. I can tell them that, because Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu will not just win this coming election, he will win convincingly, because the odds are in his favor. You see, Nigerians have, I mean, we've been hearing of our young people repatriating themselves to other countries. But what are these things that is making them leave? Those are the things Asiwaju is addressing in the area of, you mentioned it, of credit facilities and so on and so forth. I mean, the way you create a middle class in a country is to ensure that they have access to some of these kind of things. A middle class necessarily does not have to carry 100 million to go and buy a house, of 20 or 30 million, or even 15 or 5 or 10 million to buy a car. If you have a system that works such that someone who has a decent job and he can every month meet his obligations, he does not have to carry so much money.
Yeah, carry money in bulk.
Yeah. And that is one of the things that actually encourages corruption, because people want to be sure that they can live this good life. And good life does not need more than having the access to a decent home, access to vehicles, and some of these issues. So those are the things Asiwaju has been promising. And if you look at this, all modern countries today, that is what people are looking for. You will see so many of our young people, when they travel, within 1 year, 2 years, they tell you they have a home to themselves.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that iPhones.
It's not that if you go abroad,
you don't buy it with cash and all of that.
You will see someone who you know here, in 2 years, they tell you he has a new car, he has a home.
And you think that's feasible in Nigeria?
And clearly, you see, many people don't understand that. When I keep saying President Buhari has built the foundation, it is this. You see, you have so many. One of the challenges we've always had is identification of Nigerians. But today you have the BVN, you have the one that Population Commission, I forgot what they call this one, and the one the telephone people were using to link us, the NIN.
Yeah.
Now you have all these identification system. You see, People don't understand. In fact, now, if you are owing a bank A and they get a global authority over you, if you have money in bank B, they can pick your money from there. So those are the things. That's why I say the middle class, it will not happen overnight. There will always be a test run of these things. Maybe you look at a category. Okay, let me give you an example that worked for me when I was much younger. When I was working in the bank, then I worked with a few Nigerian banks. I don't want to identify. I mean, I don't want to do an advert for them.
Before we also charge you for the advert.
So a particular electronic supply company in Nigeria used to have this system for us as bankers then. If you have a genuine bank and you come with your document, they will give you a TV, they could give you fridge or electronics and all these things, and then you pay in 3 installments. In fact, your first installment, you don't even have to pay when you take it. You can just give them 3 checks. So these things have been practiced before. All you need to do is understand it and find a way to institutionalize it. It will work.
Okay. And I come to you, Olumide. What do you make of that renewed hope manifesto by Bola Tinubu? A lot of Nigerians are beginning to question some things that are there. I mean, some people say it's too overambitious for you to say you want to have a 10% GDP growth, and then, of course, you want to recruit more people. Where will you get the money from? The issues of fuel subsidy, you remove it. How do you manage it? What exactly is Tinubu trying to sell to Nigerians? And have you been getting reception since you began your campaign officially?
Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure to be on this show. The manifesto that was unveiled a few weeks ago is a robust document. In fact, I looked at my late father's manifesto in 1983.
That's the late Tunji Braithwaite.
Nigeria Advance
Party,
yeah.
I remember.
The 9 signposts for change. And I was pleasantly surprised that there are overtones from that time. Because at that time, Tunji Braithwaite was said to have been ahead of his time.
I agree.
Well, this is 2022. And our situation is such that the country is on almost life support. There is the global phenomenon of economic recession, and Nigeria is not immune to that. Out of all the candidates that have put themselves forward for the presidential ticket, no one is perhaps more qualified in terms of systematic change than Senator Bola Tinubu. Lagos State is an example of that. I have sat in several discussions where people have said that Tinubu did not build Lagos. But we're not saying he built Lagos, but the rapid transformation from the IGP to the infrastructural developments, to the road management, to the constraints that we have in Lagos. I'm a Lagosian. Nigerians should be expectant this time around because of his antecedents, because of his track record.
Yeah, and one of the fears that people have is that, just like Tinubu has a knack for raising funds everywhere through taxation, a lot of people may be taxed beyond what they can manage in the after the election if he's elected. I mean, you are a Lagosian, and you know how lots of people keep crying that, look, the LIRS keeps taxing people on almost everything. Now, if you want to widen that across the country, shouldn't Nigerians be afraid and say, look, Tinubu may want to bring taxation to the extent that it may choke some people, and including businesses?
In as much as I'm quick to draw comparisons between Lagos and the Federation, you also have to be very wary of drawing too much comparisons with that, because the situation is completely different. You will agree with me, Ayo. But I think he deserves the benefit of the doubt at this stage. We are not in a position where we have the luxury to simply throw away ideological policies as enshrined in the manifesto. And all these things are novel, they're new. And therefore, I think Nigerians generally, and this is where the elections are on a level playing surface. Nigerians should come out and vote for their choice.
Okay.
So but on that tax thing, before you answer, I need to also answer that question, because I have had him discuss this, and I have spoken to people who are in the campaign, also in the finance area, and I can assure Nigerians that Tinubu does not plan to raise taxes. What we plan to do as a government, if he wins, is to widen the tax net.
When you say widen, what does that really mean?
You bring in more people. You don't increase the taxation. We're not going to increase taxation. Or rather, if, for instance, we have a population of about 88 million people who should be paying tax, if you ask the FIRS, they will tell you we have less than maybe 10 or 20% paying that taxes. So what Tinubu will do is, the widening is to increase the number to maybe, if you can't even get 100% compliance, you should get at least 75 and above.
Yeah, but people have to be sure that when they pay those taxes to government, it will be used for them.
See, let me now explain to you. Nigerians, we can't continue to complain that tax. And then we're also screaming that we don't want to take loans. Government will not print money now. We don't print dollars. And if you are going to do international business, you do in dollars. So we are not going to print money to solve Nigeria's problem. Government has to earn that money. So if you don't want to pay taxes and you don't want to borrow money, money will not come from the sea. So widening the tax net is not a punishment. It is earning legitimately from the citizens, paying their rightful tax to ensure that the business of governance is continued, so that there will be no stoppage. And then we can now say, okay, with that, we will be able to reduce the amount of external loans we'll be taking. And also, do not forget, you also mentioned the issue of fuel subsidy. How would that be managed?
Yeah, the outgoing government has already said that they will remove fuel subsidy before the new government comes in.
That's where I'm going. You see, the honest truth is this. The subsidy that the government is paying now has become a problem to earning. If you have followed in the last 3 or 4 fake, when they are sharing this FAC allocation,
the FAC allocation,
you will realize that most of the monies are coming from the FIRS and some other sources. NNPC has not been contributing to the federation account. And this is because what they are paying as subsidy is even more than what we are earning as fuel, as a petroleum income.
Yeah.
So it is completely not a wise decision to keep paying this monumental amount but the advantage, the good news is that many people forget that 2 private refineries will come on board in the next couple of months. The first one is the Dangote one, but there's another one in Akwa Ibom.
Yeah, it's not removing.
No, that's what I'm explaining.
The problem. The thing is that, can Nigerians trust the Tinubu to manage that fuel subsidy removal if he's
can I ask you a question?
Because it's an issue of trust.
Do you know what Lagos looks like pre-Tinubu? I honestly wish we could play a video of a pre-Tinubu Lagos and post-Tinubu Lagos. Then you will understand that Nigerians can trust him with that. His opponents can say anything they want to say. But when I was lucky to go serve in Lagos in 1997-98 as a young man, and I know pre-Tinubu Lagos, I can tell you without equivocation that it is a different Lagos of today. The Molues of that time, the mountain of refuse in the road medians, the medians on the road.
Yeah, of course.
Every day you're going to walk, you see 3, 4, 5 dead bodies on the road. Nobody is taking care of them. Today you have the rapid response system. You have the Lagos was the first state to produce the short code system, the 112, to call for emergency. You have the Lagos ambulance system that can pick injuries, accident, and whatever. Today, you have the LASTMA, the LOMA. Today, those kule guys that used to do push this thing, they are no longer there. So you see, you can actually trust him.
Okay, I will ask you to hold on there while we bring Olumide back. Let's talk about the issues of support groups. Why is it that it looks like, you represent one of those big support groups, Tinubu Shettima support group. Now, why is it that it looks like a lot of you are not providing succor to your presidential candidate? I saw a video of him complaining that people are abusing him on social media when he doesn't like reading what's going on social media, because it looks like everybody just wants to have a kick at him. What are support groups like you doing to ensure that your presidential candidate, doesn't face such hits or to defend him if you're prepared to do so?
Thank you very much. Now you are talking issue-based discussion. First of all, let me correct an impression. It's not a support group. I am a member of the Tinubu Shettima Grassroots Independent Campaign Council.
Yeah, it's still a support group because it's not within the main APC Presidential Campaign Council.
It is a body that is to complement, to work in tandem with the PCC. It's a completely novel type of setup. It's never been done before. And we have Bola Ahmed Tinubu to thank for this. Again, it's showing his innovation. He's showing his revolutionary tendencies.
Yeah, and so how are you guys defending him? Because he's complaining that the online hit is so much on him, and he doesn't read social media any longer.
You cannot.
So that's where you guys are supposed to come in.
Let me.
Okay, so
when it's done, I'll give you the context.
Let me answer your question, or at least attempt to address some of the issues that you've raised there. We intend to go door to door throughout all the 774 local governments. We intend to have coordinators in every state with a structure, with supervisors, with billboards, with local dialects in hamlets to the most remote areas of this country. I am proud to say that we have a formidable organization manned by very, very top people. And the personnel is there.
So how are you deploying that machinery to actually do the job? Because the campaigns have kicked off. And your presidential candidates being given the board everywhere, on social media.
Yes, now what you said something else. You said on social media, you cannot control people's reactions on social media. That's what it's there for. This whole discussion about the internet, that's another, I think you need another hour for us to talk about that, and regulation and free speech and controls and government and all that. And it's a free world. People are free to express themselves. But the results will speak for themselves.
So you're confident that your candidate is the right candidate?
We are working day and night. Day and night. We are working around the clock, and in a very, very unique manner, not seen before, and that excites me.
So your strategic thinking, do you think this is all noise out there? And it's a minority. That's
what do you mean when you say noise? When you say noise, what are you talking about?
Let's have your just.
See, let me tell you something. We use Twitter as an example. It's an echo chamber. It's not the reality. I was shocked just a few days ago when I realized there's only 3 million Nigerians that are on Twitter. So it's just an echo chamber. He said they are going from door to door. That is more effective for us as a campaign.
Word of mouth.
And like I said, I was in a meeting yesterday when he made that. I just chanced, I was not supposed to be in that meeting. I was going somewhere else. But because the room that the meeting was being held, the Ashwaju was already there, nobody could move, so I was forced to sit through that meeting. So I know the context to which he was talking. I'm not going to mention the state, but I'll tell you the exact reason why he made that statement. There was two factions of APC from a state. So one of the factions came and solicited for his support to help bring peace to that state. because they want to win the state for Asiwaju. And Asiwaju said, and I was in that meeting, I had the video myself. I don't know who posted that part without giving the whole context. The context was he was telling them that you people quarrel too much. And because you quarrel too much, you listen to things you should not listen to because somebody say, another person say. You know, in Nigeria, we have this them say
syndrome.
Exactly. So he said, because of this, somebody say and you listen and you react because another person say. So that is the reason why I don't listen to social media anymore, because it will give me high BP. And then he went on where they didn't put that if you begin to hear this, then you will begin to fight battles you don't need to fight. That was the context to that statement.
Okay, thanks for providing that context. Now, like I asked earlier, what are the chances of the APC winning this election?
Well, like I said, the chance of the APC winning this election is very bright. I can assure you without equivocation.
Despite all that's been said, that your candidate is running away from debate. Instead, he's organizing town hall meetings for himself.
No. I have answered this question. I'm going to answer it again. My candidate, or our candidate, because he is also on my side, is not running away from debate. Our candidate is just a strategic and systematic someone. We don't see the like I said also, we are not planning to win a debate or an argument. We are planning and preparing to win an election. So anybody can, and like my candidate said, somebody can come and do blah 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 blah. But that is not what we want to do. We have given you a manifesto of action. And what we have been doing, if you notice, we've been organizing town halls, meeting strategic people. Yesterday was in Owerri, meeting the business community there. Last week, we met the farmers, we met the miners in Nasarawa and Niger State. In Kano, they also met the agricultural people. So you can see that every aspect of the manifesto, we are meeting the strategic people who will help shape the policy of the government that is going to come. So coming to win a baseless debate is not our plan. We will come for debate. And like I also said, please, I need to finish this part.
Okay.
If you follow, there is an organization that is organizing another town hall that is not ours now.
Yes.
Two hours. And your organization will be part of that too. You will bear me to Nigerians. So we're not running away from Nigerians.
We are not part of that particular.
But it was a bond. It's a bond organized thing. Bond will cover, and almost all other stations will cover it. And in that 2 hours town hall meeting, every aspect of our manifesto and whatever.
Yeah, but we are not having all the candidates in one platform. We are only having the candidate
you are still thinking of winning on one. You are still thinking of winning a debate. We don't want to win debate.
Okay.
We want to win elections.
I keep very interesting perspective though. Let me come to you. What are the chances of the APC winning this election? Because everywhere you go, people are saying that, look, there's poverty, there's hunger. You could have seen the Bureau of Statistics figures released 133 million Nigerians poor. How would you campaign with such a figure?
Those figures by the NBS don't come as a surprise to most professionals, whether you're accountants or lawyers or in the financial industry. It is a reality. As I mentioned earlier, there is a global phenomenon going on as well. And Nigeria is not immune to that. So we are facing harsh times, perhaps the harshest times in the history of this country. So the choice of our future is no more important, no more so than for 2023. And the youths, he will be classified as a youth. Some people try to classify even me as a youth. I'm in my 50s.
Well, that's the Nigerian phenomenon.
But the reality is this. We need something drastic in this country.
And you think Tinubu has the expertise?
I believe he has.
Why? What makes him so much...
Again, I would need another program for this.
No, but in the very few minutes that we have left, because Tinubu himself was saying that, look, if you go to the UK, they didn't look at someone who's a Muslim or Christian,
this
brought an Hindu. To actually his expertise. Is that what Tinubu is looking himself
like? If we are looking at issue-based facts, let's talk about facts. Let's talk about issues. The choice of the vice president is not based on religious sentiment.
That's your vice presidential candidate, Kashim Shettima.
Yes.
Very quickly.
The person of Tinubu is not a religious bigot. Come to Lagos and you'll see that. His wife is a Christian. His children are Christians. And if you know the man, you'll know that he is a very liberal and a very progressive
And some
person.
people say
now,
that
there are
that may also
devices
count against him in the Muslim North.
that remains to be seen. You, my dear, we're talking politics here. Politics across 37 states. You win some.
That's 36
36
at Abuja.
yeah.
You win
37.
some.
You lose
You
some.
lose some. You cannot win
Oh,
all.
we win the
However,
majority.
I believe sincerely that given all the facts, that we will win these elections. And it is for the betterment of
Okay.
the betterment of our nation.
Are we saying that Tinubu's financial prowess in reorganizing the finances of Lagos and all of that is one of the things that you people are using to sell him, that Nigerians should take a second look at him, that he could, he may be able to, mobilize resources from different parts of the country?
He will be able to.
Oh,
I can tell you clearly. No, I'm so sure about that. See, like I told you, I was in Lagos pro-Tinubu. And I was fortunate to be one of those people who
but why are
lined
you
up.
not campaigning with the APC-led federal government that we have on time?
No,
because
let
it's one
me
of the
finish.
things being used against
what
you
people
too.
are still not getting is Tinubu is coming as Tinubu, a member of the APC, no doubt about that. You will hold on to President Muhammadu Buhari on President Muhammadu Buhari's merit, and you hold on to Tinubu on Tinubu's merit. Because Tinubu is just applying for the job now. And I always use this example. If I want to work in Arise today, what are you going to ask for? You're not going to ask for what my tribal people used to do. You ask for my particular CV. You're going to judge me on my own merit, not on the merit of people like me.
Yeah, but it's the same party, it's the same vehicle.
We have not, you see, you remember I said earlier on that President Buhari has built foundations. I will not discountenance his goodness. He has done excellently well in so many areas. But like Tinubu also said, in areas where they have not done well, they will improve. And where they have done well, we will just continue.
Well, I can see you being confident, just like Olumide Breton here has said, that APC is going to win this election. But in a contest where you have the PDP, Labour Party, NMPP,
you see, I said something
and
sometimes
preparation,
back.
just like INEC has said, though INEC clarified that it has always printed ballot papers for runoff.
Sometimes, I told you sometimes
very quickly,
on air.
because of
I told you sometimes
left.
on air that we locked Nigeria for 6 months. The whole world was locked down for about 6 months, 1 year. Imagine if we were importing all our food like they were doing then. By today, what we are saying will be a child's play compared to what will have happened. So it tells you that this government has done well. You may not see it as well as you should have seen it because, like Olumide said, we are a part of a global community. We are part of a global community that is going through a turbulent time. So we just happen to be part of that because we are not immune. But clearly, the Buhari government has done well, and Tinubu will not just do well. He will build on it, and he will do excellently well.
Okay, Oyalowo is a member of the APC Presidential Campaign Council. He's in the Communications Directorate. And of course, we must thank you so much for being here on the show. And Olumide Breton is the spokesman of the Tinubu Shetima Independent Campaign Council. You have said it's a novel idea. This is going to be different from the PCC by supporting Tinubu's activities. Well, it's left for Nigerians to actually judge you based on what you have told them here as we head to the next elections in less than 100 days. I must thank you for being on the show.